This week, one dad, Katy Perry, roars as he takes 20 kids on a field trip to a maple syrup sugar bush. Another chooses between the lesser of two evils, and they both marvel at a new world of Fortnite on mobile phones. This week's Gaming Dad victory goes to Eric and an incredible gaming room he's built for himself and his son. All this and more on New Dad Gaming. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 6-month-old and a 2.5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
So I think fatherhood, you're faced with a lot of unideal scenarios and worst case scenarios. Not worst case scenarios. It's the least. Oh, I'm so dad tired I can't even think of it. What is it when it's like the least bad of the two options?
Like the lesser of two evils kind of thing?
Thank you. Lesser of two. I am so dad tired I couldn't think of that. The lesser of two evils. I think
there we go.
So much of fatherhood seems to be lesser of two evils. As is well documented on the show, my older son has been having a terrible time with getting him to bed recently. And tonight was pretty smooth. We've started to get into a rhythm. Tonight was going pretty well, except he brought into the room with him his clay piggy bank that we keep with him.
Okay.
Now you might ask yourself, why would you have a clay piggy bank? That sounds like you're setting yourself up for disaster. Hey,
you know what? I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Right. So it's a clay piggy bank, and this thing is like chock full of coins. Every time we have a coin, he puts it in, trying to get some notion of money for the future type of thing.
Yep.
And here it is. He's in his bed now. He's about ready to go, but he desperately wants this clay piggy bank full of coins in bed with him. And you're sitting, and it started to motion that perhaps no, you can't have that in bed, and just threw a fit. It was not a good scene.
Right.
So here you are at the cliff edge. It is not a good idea for him to have that in bed with him.
No.
But it's not a good idea for him or me for him not to go to bed peacefully right now. So
I see it. You're weighing those two options, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the monitor where he's gingerly holding the piggy bank as he sleeps currently.
Okay.
And I stand by my decision.
So is he currently asleep on the piggy bank?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just clutching it.
Right.
It's like, is that a whole different money lesson I'm giving him? I don't know. But and now even better is that I'm going to try to extract it.
Oh, good luck.
That is a clay piggy bank filled with metal coins.
This is an Indiana Jones nightmare that you're gonna have to do.
Yeah, but the best part, he was just trying to do weight. I have to do weight and not wake up a toddler.
Yeah.
I got the hard job, okay? Aunt Jones got nothing on me tonight.
Just call yourself the Tooth Fairy, because when the Tooth Fairy comes, you're gonna have the same problem.
Oh man, have you successfully pulled that off?
Oh yeah, the kids are like dead asleep. There's no I could pick them up, levitate them above the bed and put them back down, and they didn't wake up. They would toss. They toss a little bit, but then no eyes opening.
I remember when I was a kid, I had a suspicion that was the case. At the time I was like 90% sure. No, I was like 98% sure it wasn't.
Right.
That wasn't how it actually went down. So but I managed to stay awake until they came in, and sure enough, my dad entered the room, sauntered over, I was pretending to be asleep, put the coin under, took the tooth, and off he went.
Yeah.
I just remember this, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how. Confirmed.
That's all. You didn't pop up and say, "You lied to me."
Yeah, I don't think I was really distressed about it. Just more I see. Okay then.
Right.
Yeah, the question would be, I can't remember if I kept up the ruse next time just to ensure that I got enough, got more coins next time. It's the last few times of Santa, where
yes.
you kind of pretend that you believe just to make sure you get your toys.
Yeah, well, I had to keep up if I because I found out before my little brother, if I kept up the charade, then I might get an extra special gift at Christmas. So I was bribed.
Ooh, very nice. Older brother perks. That's good.
Yeah, that's right. I kept that going for a while.
See, now again, if your kid listens to the show, you
Oh, God,
you just gave him the inside track. He knows what to do.
Don't listen to it.
Yeah, son, turn off now. Yeah, and yourself, how was fatherhood?
Fatherhood was something else this week, Trevor.
So I have this piggy bank, right? And
You know what? Yeah. I'll just ask you, how is your mental state with one kid?
Huh.
It was kind of, it was okay. They're maybe trying at times, but you could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
With maybe with 2 kids now.
Yeah, it hurts.
A little more.
Yeah, it's definitely the fact that it's even strength on both teams is definitely weighs on you.
Right. So, how about 20 kids?
No. That sounds like a TLC show. I don't want that at all.
Yeah. So this week I volunteered to go on my son's field trip with his class in JKSK.
Oh, okay. So hold on. So the word I heard there was volunteered.
Yes. So yeah. You do things in life.
You got to challenge yourself sometimes, you see.
I remember signing up for it, and then I questioned it after I did it, but it was already gone, and they'd already thanked everybody for volunteers, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And I kind of just stood there looking at the ceiling, is this a good choice? Am I going to be happy with this decision?
I will say it's commendable because honestly, the other part of it is there are 20 sets of parents that are very thankful that it's you and not them.
Well, they should thank me. But my wife has volunteered before in both our kids' classrooms, the one in grade 2 and JK. And she said, she gave me a little pep talk. She's like, you know what? You're really just in there. You're just in there to observe. They don't assign you to any groups of kids or anything. You just kind of meander around. Okay. So I show up the day of, and the first thing they do is assign groups. So I have my son and 3 other kids that I don't really know the names of them, and don't really know what they look like, on a little sticky, yellow sticky note. Mm-hmm. And that's my group. And where we're going is an outdoor maple syrup festival. So
Sugarfest. You are going to a sugar injection site.
Okay, yes, correct. What calms kids down more than just pure sugar out of a tree, out of nature?
Outdoors, machinery, farming equipment, and sugar.
Wide open spaces where they can run off into the sunset. So anyway, we got our groups. We got on the bus because it is a bus ride away. I checked Google Maps before we left, and it was a 40-minute bus ride away. And I'll ask you another question. In your days on the bus, what kind of songs do you remember singing? Because I remember singing maybe Wheels on the Bus, at this age, JKSK, so about, 5 years old. Wheels on the Bus, maybe 99 bottles of pop on the wall or something, not obviously beer.
Remember the telephone one that was really annoying?
Which one was that?
Tickety tick, oh yeah. Hey, Jeff, I think I hear my name. Hey, Jeff,
it sounds like it's 1950s.
You're wanted on the telephone. Well, if it isn't Trevor, I'm not at home.
No, but you know what? I would take that over the bus songs the kids sing nowadays.
Oh no! What on earth do they sing?
Which is Katy Perry's Roar.
What? A whole classroom of...
The whole bus full of now 40 kids, because it's joined with another classroom and a half kind of thing. They all sing Katy Perry's Roar, just the chorus, over and over and over. And all the kids know the lyrics. It's insane.
Yeah, how did they... You're gonna hear me now.
Yep. So just, picture that. through your ears with the kid voices trying to hit those highs, and everybody's got a high pitched voice to begin with.
God,
and I'm just sitting there staring at the window like it's gonna be the longest ride of my life.
Oh, did the bus driver have earplugs? Like, are they hip to this? They must be.
I was looking, you know how you can look at the mirror down at the bus driver? Never looked up. Like, it was just like probably off in their own world, or maybe they had one of those like portable earbuds that you didn't really see. So,
God, man.
Yeah, that was a bit much. So, great start to the day.
By the way, this is the first 40 minutes of the, the expedition.
But once we got there, the kids were fine. Like, I think it was just the excitement of being there. They listened to, we had a tour guide go around that explained everything, sap out of a tree. Not much has changed since you've probably been to a outdoor education maple syrup place. A few little advancements that they taught us adults.
In popsicle stick technology, or?
No, well, Trevor, I'll tell you. So when you get the sap out of a tree, you think of a tin pail, right? Or something of that nature. They're now plastic. Why are they plastic? For laziness. They can see the line of the syrup through the clear plastic versus tin, where they have to check all the trees.
That's no fun.
No. But I learned something. The kids learned something. Hopefully, I don't know.
Have you seen any of the ones where it's just tubes running between the trees?
No.
Yeah, like, it's not even like pails collecting it. Like, these guys are just, they have all the different taps, and they just connected a ton of tubes.
Siphoning it out?
Yeah, and it just like all runs downhill into the shack, and it's like,
wow.
Yeah, it's efficient, but man, that's not romantic in the slightest.
No, all I think of is Final Fantasy VII, where they suck the juice out of the earth and pump it into a big building. Yeah.
That perfect analogy.
Just get that life stream out.
Yeah, because but it used to be like a little hammer, like tapping it in, and you had the little metal pails, and it's just this whole romantic journey. And like, nope,
no, that's gone. Yeah, just rip it out of the trees. That's great.
Right. So you had a good batch of kids. Thank everything that is good.
Yep.
And they fed them sugar.
So they got to taste maple syrup, pure maple syrup. At like, let's say it's 10:30 in the morning. They're ready to like go. So they get these little cupfuls of maple syrup, and they are just wired beyond anything I've seen. And it is cold up here, so it was like -5 or something. So they're all like bundled up, heated, sweating. There's mitts, like people are dropping mitts everywhere. They had to carry their backpacks, and backpacks are being lost, and hats blown off, and all this sorts of stuff. So you see, it was me and like 3 other parents that are kind of running around trying to pick up everybody's stuff. So it was kind of hectic. I will say it was an experience to that point. I did make a lot of friends with Elton's classmates, which was nice. They all set up play dates with just me because they wanted to. They're like, "Hey, you're fun. Do you want to come over to my house and we can play?" I'm like, you know what? I don't think that's appropriate.
Wait a minute. So the kids invited you specifically, but not your kid?
Oh yeah, I had buddies. I had people holding my hand. They thought I was the best thing in the world. I was the cool dad there.
Oh,
so
dude, do that.
Shout out.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Go play video games at their house. Get served like juice boxes. Yeah. In a heartbeat.
It's my turn again. Let's do this.
To go play games. You missed a golden opportunity.
Yeah. So no, there were a lot of friendly kids. I made a lot of connections. I think Elton got a little jealous and stole like my hand away from some of the kids that were holding it. So, but that was okay. The whole day ended up like no fatalities, no injuries.
No maple-based fatalities.
I think that's a win in my book. The only other major thing that I will mention is that, so again, cold outside, everyone's got snow pants on, winter jackets, hats, mitts, whatever, right? Done up to the nines. Mm-hmm. So when you take 20 kids in your kind of group to go to the washroom,
oh, jeez,
it is insane.
Oh no.
It is like something I've never experienced before. at that magnitude. So my own kids, obviously, but to have everybody, you know, take off their snow pants. You know, the girls obviously went in the girls' washroom, so I can't control them. They're in there like goofing off, doing whatever. The boys are in the boys' washroom, and again, goofing off, whatever.
20 kids in snowsuits. That's just...
we must have spent just an hour trying to go to the bathroom for 5 minutes before we got back on the bus. So no accidents though, like no pee accidents. So I think, again, success.
That's a good win.
Yep. I will say by the end of the day, it was very, it was a good thing to spend that kind of time with my son at school. Like, I did feel good about it at the end of the day, which was nice to have. I think he, like, you know, fell asleep against me on the bus, so that was kind of a cute thing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it wasn't all like negative craziness. But when we got home, we stopped in at grandma's because she lives close by, and my son just takes his boots off and his coat off. I'm like, no, we have to go home. Like, I signed you out early. We have a couple hours before I have to pick up my older son. And he's like, no, I'll stay at grandma's. And I looked at grandma, and she's like, if you want, you stay here. And I'm like out the door. I am just...
That's just if you want. You're already... There's a Jeff-sized hole in the wall.
Exactly. Like a ghost of me that just like left. Perfect opportunity for me to run home and set the alarm. And I just like went to sleep for 2 hours. I was just out like a light.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
That is such a just reward for everything you just been through.
I know. I like, without that nap, I don't know what I would have done the rest of the night just to get like supper on and like the kids home again and all that stuff. But it seemed like a full day, almost like a 2-day thing in what was 5 hours, I guess.
2-day adventure. Jeff goes to sleep, and the entire time the soundtrack, you're gonna hear me roar.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that just like came up as the alarm, like on the radio.
That's just gonna haunt you. The whole thing, awesome story. That the Katy Perry part just is really weird. That is super bizarre as far as like a song to choose.
Yeah, I know, and like. I don't know where it came from. I guess the lyrics are okay for kids. Like, I haven't really looked at the lyrics, but it seems like it just gets them kind of energetic and up, and it's probably in a Dance Dance Revolution video game somewhere, I'm sure. So,
do you think they teach it at the school? Like, it's a dance routine, or like, all right, everybody, let's get energized for this assembly. You're gonna hear me rock.
Well, they do Dance Dance Revolution in the gym sometimes. So if it's on there, they have it.
That is the most relevant gaming dad news thing I've ever heard. So you're telling me that in physical education, in school, they play a game, Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the game or just a YouTube video of the game, but the kids think they're playing it.
Okay. That took a really weird twist. So they're just painting like arrows, and they have to follow along a bootleg YouTube video.
Well,
what school do you go to? What is this?
Well, because my kids have fallen to that trap and they haven't figured it out yet. I don't think. They think the camera, there's a camera on the TV or iPad or whatever that follows your movements. So on Dance Dance Revolution, there's arrows that pop up or whatever, but there's a mode where you can just have like silhouettes, and if they match the silhouettes, then there you go, they're doing the moves and they're getting perfect each time. So they might have that playing in the gym, but I'm sure Katy Perry is part of that soundtrack, and all the kids know it, and they'll sing it forever.
I don't know how to this is a lot you're putting on me.
You know what? You need to experience it. Just wait.
I don't know how to process all this. It's just the Katy Perry thing. They're faking and lying to the kids about Dance Dance Revolution and Phys Ed. They're doing bootleg ghetto YouTube videos as kids pretend to dance.
Yeah.
Man, what is school now?
You know what? Yeah, like, I can't remember any of that kind of stuff when I was growing up in school. I'm like, you know what? We got excited when they wheeled out those trays with the 4 wheels and like that little platform, and you could play like dodgeball with them. You sit on them.
See, I got excited because I thought you were going to say when they wheeled in the TV.
Oh, yeah. Well, that
with the
was
VCR.
Yeah.
Like, that was the best day ever.
The VCR. Yeah, my kids don't even know. VCR.
Yeah, right. What is this VCR? Just about the worst technology that ever existed. DVD was very welcome. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just, jeez. Go lie down and dream of Katy Perry to process all this information.
No, I don't even want to. Now that I've said the lyrics, they're in my head again. So.
With that, though, I think we will transfer to our Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. I'm going to try to kick it up a notch. So we'll bring in some background music. We'll bring in a bit of an announcer voice, and let's see how this goes. Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week, we feature an exceptional gaming dad and often their kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. Tell me, what part of a room is always the warmest? The corner, as it's always 90 degrees. But not this gaming dad's gaming room, for it's all red hot. A father often is building for the future, building a future for his loved ones, but especially for his kids. And this kid doesn't know how good he's got it coming. In a room set apart from the rest, a room destined for greatness, we find a room made for gaming. Gaming Dad Eric pulled together and constructed a monument to gaming for himself and his son. Featuring posters of merriment and delight, lighting hung with care, no less than 2 televisions, a PlayStation VR set including an aim controller. It is truly a sight to behold. Imagine yourself in a time gone by, young and full of video game hours. Imagine a father building such a room for you to enjoy. This is the reality this young man finds himself in. And should his son continue his father's gaming footsteps, he'll have the keys to this gaming kingdom. For he's not just a dad, no. He's a gaming dad. So hats off to this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week recipient, Eric, and his son with a bright gaming future. If you would like to be nominated for Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, or know somebody deserving, please send along the information to us at our website, newdadgaming.com.
And with that, we go to this week's cheat sheet as we run down the highlights of what happened in the world of gaming. Cha-ching! Playing and streaming video games can be a lucrative career. Just ask top Fortnite player Tyler Ninja Blevins, who has said he's made $500,000 a month due to Amazon, Twitch, and YouTube subscriptions. And of special note, Ninja hasn't dropped everything in life to game. He's kept his college grades up, and he still has a regular side job in order to lead his current life. He's definitely got a good head on his shoulders, saving or investing most of his earnings and sponsoring many charities and community programs. I'm giving it a new dad kudos to both Ninja and his parents. And not to be outdone by last week's mobile release of Fortnite, PUBG has officially launched its mobile version on both iOS and Android in the US, Canada, and worldwide. Much unlike its PC or console big brother, though, it runs silky smooth, which is surprising given its rough history. Now, not everything is positive, as most recently there were a lot of reports of people winning, which, if you've ever played PUBG, is a very hard thing to achieve. Turns out most of the servers are filled with low AI bots, which the developer has said is to ease new players into the game. As you gain more levels, supposedly these bots are replaced with real players, increasing that difficulty. Now, as a dad, I could use a good win now and again, so I'm all for those AI bots. And a PSA to all old PlayStation 3 owners. Time is running out to get a cool $65 from Sony. Owners of the original, quote, fat PS3 can submit a claim to a class action settlement to get their money through an online form. A while back, Sony had given users to install another OS to its hardware, then yanking that feature, citing security flaws. Well, Sony got slapped with a lawsuit, and all you have to do is send in your PSN ID, console serial number, before April 15th, 2018. And unfortunately, like most good things, it's only open to residents of the United States. And remember Battlefront 2? Well, hounding EA about their loot box and pay-to-win scheme, they have finally seen the light. Battlefront 2 will be patched this week, which will allow for all heroes and ships to be available to all players from the get-go. And all loot boxes will only contain cosmetics, will not feature any abilities or upgrades to player gameplay. Instead, all progression will be earned by playtime. I'd say it's a big victory for the gaming community, and it might even be safe to jump into Battlefront 2 at this point in time. Nintendo has launched a Splatoon 2 and Super Smash Bros. Invitational for E3, which can only mean we will not only get our first glimpse of how competitive play works on the Switch, but this means that the new Super Smash Bros. Will be fully playable before that June convention. If you're interested in competing in either game, Nintendo will hold qualifiers for the North American players in late April. And on the game release front, some notables this week include the big Xbox exclusive Sea of Thieves finally drops, Attack on Titan 2, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, A Way Out, Ni no Kuni 2, and Detective Pikachu for the 3DS, which has a fully voiced Pikachu who sounds like a grumpy cigarette-smoking middle-aged man. I encourage everyone to go and see trailers of Detective Pikachu. That's the gaming cheat sheet for this week. Catch a nap and tune in next time for another update.
That is fantastic. So he sounds like an old man?
Oh, God,
that's amazing.
Yes.
That's so much better, though.
Yeah.
Because if it was like the squeaky, like, Pikachu, gotta go find the clues. Oh no, somebody was murdered.
No, he sounds like, hey, this Pikachu, we gotta go over there. not a word of a lie.
Hey, what's that? Hey, you kids. Y'all see a murder? Pikachu, what are you doing?
Gotta catch those Pokemon, eh? Come on. Over there.
Hey, I don't like that Pokeball. Get out of here. I'm working here. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's such a great move. Yeah, so leveraging off ALSA, so I played, I didn't play is it PUBG or PUBG? PUBG, right?
Yep.
So I didn't play PUBG, but I did play the Fortnite mobile. Finally had a moment to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Like
really?
It is not so much the game. The game is certainly fun. I'll get to that in a second. The technological achievement, like that is the full game on my phone, and it's actually I have an older one. I have the iPhone SE, so
okay.
which kind of translates to a 6S.
Yep. So
it's not the most modern iPhone, and it's great, man. Like they did the interface really well. Like it's super smooth. It's really easy to get into a game.
That's unbelievable that they can pull that off.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's enabled or if it's coming, but the whole crossplay thing is going to be a thing. It's happening. Like it's really, it's a marvel. Like it's unbelievable that they were able to pull this thing off. And the game itself, like, so this being my first introduction to it, yeah, I think this is a solid dad title. I mean, if dads have been on the fence there, I think it's certainly worth the download. I mean, heck, it's this version of it's free, right? Like the Battle Royale is free all systems, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So it's only like you can pay to get cosmetics again. It's like any other, loot box kind of ish system, but
yeah. See, what I like about it is that since one of the modes is just, I think there's a squad mode, but there's also a solo mode, so it's everybody versus everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I can do that type of multiplayer because that means if I suck, I suffer, and that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not letting anybody down. Nobody cares. It's great. It's great for them that I suck.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Made their day brighter, really. Yeah. So
that's where it's too. So first game, drop in, just putzing around. Like I didn't really see anybody, but that was kind of nice because I got used to kind of the controls and everything. Eventually somebody with a shotgun shows up and just gets rid of me. The second game, same type of thing where not much action, but I was enjoying it in that I kind of got to see the map and was understanding how everything worked. And actually had a dad moment where I had to run out. My kid was waking up from a nap, so I was like, well, okay, this game's done. I just exited out and left. But
I was going to say, did you see a lot of dropouts like that? Because I can only imagine even on mobile, like if somebody's playing it on like in a subway or something and they're just, the signal cops out, then...
Yeah, I gotta say, it might be a bit of a limitation on my phone because the screen is so small. I couldn't really see an indicator for how many people were left.
Oh, okay.
But I assume some of it happened, and but to be so easy able to hop out, and it doesn't really matter,
right?
I think it'd probably matter if, let's say, you're one of two people left,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to kill one more person and you win that entire thing, but then your kid, drops his bucket of maple syrup and you have to go and deal with it. That would certainly, I think, hurt a bit. But ultimately, the nature of the game and the fact that it's a full entire game, one of the hottest games on the market right now on mobile.
Yeah.
Damn, man, it's nuts. Like I said, I don't know, Jude, are you tempted now to try it on mobile? Either PUBG or Fortnite?
Well, I would try Fortnite if I could meet the specs. I have iPhone 5.
Right,
but
sorry.
My wife, you waste salt on the wound there. But my wife has iPhone 8, I want to say. Is there an 8? Yeah, I think iPhone 8. So I could play it on hers, and even PUBG just to try it out. I think it's just a neat, because people are calling it almost like a turning point where now this technology you not only have cross console stuff, you have mobile in the play to pump up numbers for these games that are coming out, and possibly with these free to play games, provide that funding and spread it across the console, PC, mobile market everywhere. And now your install base is huge.
Yeah, so. It's unbelievable. It's just like your device your access point doesn't matter. The game runs on anything, and they all run together.
Yeah.
And then because of that install base, they can afford to give the game away for free. And as long as they don't, and what's good is that with the pushback of Battlefront 2, and hopefully that's a trend that kind of continues with this year, where it's the dialing back of the gambling, the darker elements of cosmetic stuff. If they do the cosmetic stuff like Fortnite, like Overwatch, where it's like, do you want this crazy dragon costume? It's $1. Yeah, I'm down. That's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect the gameplay, doesn't affect anything, and it's just because of that you get this free incredible game. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, and even with Fortnite, with the cartoony look, like the aesthetic of it, there's stuff that you can buy, or like the cartoony John Wick, so you can go around as John. Like, that's pretty cool. Instead of just buying a cool new hat or a bow tie or something, and like they have like little characters that you can buy and put into your rotation. That's a neat thing that I think EA is kind of kicking themselves for on Battlefront 2, because that's not the most streamed game right now, Battlefront 2. It's Fortnite, which is totally free and doesn't have that progression locked system.
Yeah, that Battlefront 2 landing when it did was just such a perfect storm. Like, people were so ripe to go against it, and then other great examples of like free to play or extra monetization was there. And the government and the political backlash, like, man, just too perfect. But it's probably for the betterment of all gaming.
I'd say so, yeah.
And then so Rough and Grumble Pikachu. there was PUBG. Did you have the fat PlayStation?
I did. I still have it. The corpse of it.
The poor corpse of it. So can you cash in on this extra $65?
I was looking into it, and it is only residents of the US. So I could easily, and honestly, they don't need a receipt or anything. You just have to click that you were aware that you could install another operating system, and then you have the serial code and your PSN ID. It's just to kind of identify you, I guess. And $65.
Yeah, it's actually, sorry, and apologies to jump around, but I just thought of it. So let's say that you, on your wife's phone, or if you had an iPad, and you installed Fortnite, would you be comfortable with your oldest son playing it?
I think so. I think if I turned off the internet chatter, like the voiceover, it would be okay. And I actually had that conversation with a friend of mine to, like, his wife messaged my wife and asked about Fortnite to see if their 9-year-old would be okay to play it. I'm like, you know what?
They should have called into the show.
They should have.
First long time listener, first time caller.
But with Fortnite and that aesthetic of being so cartoony, there's no blood, there's no guts, there's just people hopping around. Yes, there are guns, but it's not like glorified guns. They're very, cartoony, spinny things that you can counter with, funny shields, and your pickaxe that can be, customized to be a cow or something. Like, it's a very silly game that I think would work well with the younger crowd. It's just the internet chatter. So if there was voices coming over from your team or just the game in general, you can't really control that. So if you shut that off, I say go for it. I don't think there's any harm unless you attach a credit card to it and they go nuts in the store. Maybe not do that as well, but I think it's a good place.
What is good too is like what's funny is that you've seen enough stories of stuff like that happening, and then then some good resolution to it, in that like I almost have this confidence that if that was to happen and you catch it in time, so your kid goes on like a $500 spree, like I've seen enough stories where the parent contacted the game company and they were cool about removing it, right? So they removed your items and they also gave you a refund, because it seems like they have their finger on the pulse that that's not going to go over well if they try to stiff you on it.
Right, yeah.
It was clearly a minor, it was a game, blah, 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 blah. So it's curious that like I have this confidence in the gaming industry around that particular point.
About taking money from you and you're like refunding it back? Oh, yeah, sure. It was a mistake, I'm sure.
Yeah, they are all about giving back money. They truly are omnipotent, just benevolent companies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wait, now so you had canceled, so a bit of New Dad Gaming history, you had canceled your Battlefront 2 pre-order.
Correct.
Are you itching a little bit to get back into that universe now that they are making good on cleaning it up?
See, I'm on the fence about it, mainly because it is now a lot cheaper, so I'm not spending $80. I think it's down to actually $35 at times. And then I got a 20% coupon for PSN this week. Might be worth a dip. But I myself, as a gamer for Battlefront 2, I'm kind of over it. I think I would actually hand it off to my kids just to kind of go nuts with, because it's the Star Wars universe and they love that stuff, and the graphics in it are insane to them. And if they can kind of hop around and use their blasters, that's what they do with the old one, and they saw the demo of the new one and they wanted it, and that's when I put my foot down of not at this time. So I'm on the fence. I could see a lot more people jumping in, though. I think it's a little bit better now that you don't have to pay money to get where you need to go. So you do still have to put in the time, and there's going to be a lot of people out there that already have those upgrades, so it's not going to be easy to jump in.
Well, hopefully they've done some sort of balancing where it's rewarding but not super punishing like it was with Battlefront 1.
Yeah.
Still hold that as my worst gaming purchase ever, honestly.
So you're a no for Battlefront 2. You're a no.
If it comes down to like... No, just total no. Actually,
just
there's
total.
no, even for $5, I would not have any interest in it.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah.
Other folks say, knock your boots. But I think that's a good place to put a pin in it. Yeah. And just a reminder, everybody, if you do happen to sign up to be the parent guardian on a trip to a maple syrup factory, you might just be a sap.
Oh.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. If you can send us any questions, ideas for shows, requests. We'd love to hear from you. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any other podcasting service. Please do. We would love a rating, a subscription, and most importantly, a pass along to a dad who games. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 2.5-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Man, I'd not snuck it in a good dad pun in a little while.
That. You cooked that one up pretty fast too.
Boiled it. I just reduced it down to its sweet essence.
Straight from nature.
We'll see you next week.
See you.